All right, welcome back. It's Wednesday morning. We're going to get you through 11 through 20 L10s today for Game Week 25. With Isaiah Joe in OKC, he showed you last night what he's capable of. 23 minutes last night, he put up almost 38 Sorare points. That jumped his L10 from 13 up to 15. He's a 12 this coming weekend. That's great. He has a regular rotation role in OKC, and obviously when he gets hot, they're going to roll him. 5 threes last night at 6 attempts. Upcoming schedule for OKC. They've got a tough one on the road in Minnesota. It's their only game. So take that for what it's worth. He just played a tough team on the road last night and did very well. I think he's kind of matchup proof. He's just a shooter. I'll probably roll him out there. 12 is just too low for this guy. Right now you're looking at 410 on his last year's version. High risk, high reward option in Grant Williams this weekend. Only one game. It's against Golden State, though. They're a terrible defensive team. Brought him in to be a 3-and-D guy. Spread the floor for Luka and Kyrie. He knocked down about 44% of his threes last year. This year, 37% range. He's dealing with an ankle injury. He's a game time decision for Friday. Not a bad guy to have. I think they're going to use him going forward. They want to play him. $5 for last year's card right now. Game logs are all over the place. Early in the year, he was playing a lot of minutes. He's been dealing with some injuries. If he can get on the floor, 12 is just way too low. All right, let's take a look at Miles McBride. He has been the beneficiary of a minutes increase since the trade with Toronto to 14, 13, 22, and 9. That's with Brunson playing. Brunson's been out. Last two games, he's played huge minutes, 38 and 36. Obviously, if Brunson's out, this is a guy you want in there. 38, 35, he put up in those two games. L10's jumping all the way up to 16 for next game week, so if you can get him in at 12 this weekend and Brunson's still out, that's a hell of a play. The news on Brunson looks pretty good. It's a calf contusion, so I think he's probably back by the weekend, meaning McBride capable of scoring you in the low 20s, maybe, but at a 12, you might have a better play this weekend with somebody else. So one game at home against a bad Toronto defense. Right now, he has gone all the way up to $6.18. Royce O'Neal is coming off a 41-point performance. It's his best game since November. L10 is at 14, heading up to 16. He needs minutes to be productive. He's about 0.85 per minute on the year. Not a guy I love, but if he can get those minutes in this core rotation in Brooklyn, I think he's worth a look this weekend. Today should be a nice measuring stick for how they're going to use him moving into the weekend. They do have two games on the road, but they're both in LA, so no travel in between. In play this weekend for sure. And at the $3.29 price point, value here. We're back to Killian Hayes. You could certainly do worse this weekend, but I just don't love this guy. 40 from the field, 28 from 3, 68 at the line. It's almost like if they had anybody better, they should play them. And they do. It's Marcus Sasser, and he's just sitting on the bench getting 11 minutes. But Hayes has been playing in that 24 to 30 range since the Cade injury. 24 and 25, that's good enough at a 14 to get you something. But 12 last game in 24 minutes. 5:06 right now, coming schedule. Detroit has one game at home against Milwaukee, so not a bad matchup for guards. And his minutes are there, down a little bit last game, but he's going to play. So he was a high pick, so they're going to keep giving him minutes, I guess. For the 5 position for the LA Clippers, they lost Ivica Zubac to a calf injury. Going to be out at least 4 weeks till mid-February. Daniel Tice and Plumlee both covering those minutes. Last night it was Plumlee getting 28, Tice getting 20. The game before, Tice got 22, Plumlee got 16, so I think this is going to fluctuate on a nightly basis a little bit. Plumlee is a very efficient player, but doesn't take a lot of shots. Can't shoot free throws, so they have to bring him off the floor at the end of close games. Things to consider when you're deciding between one of these two guys. Right now, they're pretty close in L10 score. Tice a 14, Plumlee a 16 heading into this week. Tice significantly more expensive. They have the Nets this weekend. Just one game at home. Honestly, I think you could probably play either of these guys. I might lean toward Plumlee, being that he's cheaper and put up more points last game. And with that 16 L10, you're looking for a 32, and that's exactly what he gave you last game against a difficult OKC defense. But I think either of them are definitely playable this weekend. DeLon Wright is back and is playing, and he is a 0.96 point per minute, getting right around his season average of 17 minutes. Can he get you 30? I think he can get you close to that. He just put up a 27 a couple games ago. Washington's looking at 2 games One against the porous San Antonio defense, and then another one against Denver on a back-to-back, both at home. I certainly think there are worse options at 15 here. I think he's a decent play. And an affordable one, $2.27. Good deal. All right, Isaiah Jackson, we talk about a lot. 1.3 points per minute is just really good. 16 still pretty low for him. He could certainly pop in the 30s. He's done it a number of times this year. We've got a good matchup at Portland and then another one in Phoenix. So 2 cracks at it this weekend. I wouldn't be hesitant to roll him out there. Still at that $4 mark. Well, not exactly exciting, I know, but Reggie Jackson's a guy you can consider this weekend. Game logs lately have been in the right minute range. He's right around 20 most nights. He does have games where he'll pop for 30s, maybe better options, but at $3.60, it's a decent value right now. With DeAnthony Melton dealing with what they're labeling a lumbar spine stress response, Patrick Beverley has kind of taken over his minutes. In the last 2 games without Melton, Beverley's averaged 28 minutes a night. That's 10 over his season average. We look at those game logs on the last 2, a 27 and a 21. So better than the 16 for sure. I think if Melton's still out this weekend, you can certainly plug him in. He's a cheap option for a lot of you. $2.28 if you need to pick somebody up. Santi Aldama is a guy I've added to my gallery, thinking he's going to be useful going forward. First game back off of 3-game layoff for injury. He only played 17 minutes, very productive, full point per minute on average for the season. Last game out, he put up 28 points in just 17 minutes. Capable of big things when he gets big minutes. He did have a game where he scored 61 earlier this year. I think we're looking at a guy who can be very valuable with all these injuries in Memphis. Right now, he's at 17 heading north. Price still pretty affordable on him. You can get his this year card for $4.55. Somebody to consider for sure. I'm going to pause this video to tell you about a trade that just went down. So Siakam just got sent to the Pacers from the Raptors for Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, and a bunch of picks. Pascal Siakam out of the equation in Toronto. Does that mean Chris Boucher's going to play? Probably not, but maybe, and that would be cool. On the Indiana side, does hurt the productivity possibly of a guy like Isaiah Jackson. Jalen Smith's minutes may go down a little bit. I guess we'll have to see how it shakes out. Nick Batum has been logging some big minutes in Philly lately. More than his season average of 25, closer to 30. And looking at the recents for him, just 20 last time out with 35 minutes, so you can see that not productive every game, but a 26, a 29, 22, 27. He's up there in the upper 20s. Not a terrible play this weekend. $2.92, still very affordable. Lonnie Walker, after his nice game in Paris, came back with 9 minutes last game. The Nets are out in LA. They got the Lakers and then the Clippers on Friday and Sunday, so 2 cracks at it. Hopefully he gets some minutes. This guy's 1.08 points a minute. Looking at the game logs, you may want to hold on him. He's going all the way back down close to 15 after that nothing performance last time out, so he can just pop for over 30 any given night. Great guy to have if he can get some minutes, and I think he'll get back in there at some point. The trade's going down. The Lakers may not let him get back out of town this weekend. 48% from the field, 45.7% from 3. Lakers desperately in need of shooting. This was a guy they had on their squad last year. He would be a nice fit, funny, if they just let him walk. $3.79, still really affordable for a guy this talented. Well, some of these plays you just can't hide. Xavier Tillman, minutes are up from his 19.8 season average into that low 30s range the last 4 games, and I don't think those minutes are going anywhere. Going to stay right around that level. 0.96 points per minute means he's going to average in that 32 range, which means his upside is in the high 40s, mid to high 40s. With that variance, makes him an excellent play at an 18 this week, which is why he is already up to $12.91. 2 in that 19 range, and then I'm going to roll out of here for today. Cam Thomas is a 19, almost a point a minute. Not a great shooter, but a volume shooter. 20 and 21 shot attempts the last 2 games, playing over 30 minutes. He put up a 40 and a 28. If he's hot, he had a 61 earlier this year. Interesting guy, but for the price, I think he's $15 right now. $14.68 right now. I don't want to spend that. I'll take this second guy. All right, and the second guy is Cole Anthony. So Cole Anthony, over a point a minute. He's down to a 19 L10. He had a very low score against Minnesota on the 9th of January, and that was because he played 7 minutes. He aggravated a minor injury and just didn't come back because the game was out of reach. Lowers that L10, came back, played 27, then 24, then 26. So he's right in that 25 to 30 minute range at a point a minute, meaning his average in that range, that same range, 25 to 27. His standard deviation is 11.5, putting his upside in the high 30s, low 40s. Great play at 19. He's $3.80. Thanks again for watching the 11 through 20s. We'll be back tomorrow to cover 21 through 30.